Okay, so here's the thing about compression. Whatever you think you need to know about compression to become like a better producer or whatever, you probably don't. Okay, and I promise this is actually a pretty reasonable take, but here's the thing. You have to think about the history of compressors. These were tools that you would use for recording people playing instruments. So someone would play something and then you would use a compressor to either fix an issue with the performance or the recording. So if you do a lot of recording of live things, then this video is pretty much irrelevant to you. But if you're someone who makes electronic music or music mostly on the laptop, here's what you need to consider. Compressors control dynamics, how loud and quiet things are. You, with the tools you're using, the synths you're using, the plugins you're using, the really nice sample packs you're using, you already have so much control over the dynamics. So the likelihood that you're gonna need a compressor, unless you're doing something super specific and technical, well, it's just not all that likely. Outside of like side chaining things, I don't find myself using compression that much in the production part of my process. Now I do use compressor-like things. I will use saturators on soft or hard clipping modes to make things louder. I might even use some really extreme forms of compression to get a certain kind of sound. But really getting in there and dialing in like a specific attack and a ratio and a knee and all that stuff, it's really not something I find myself doing all of that much. And this really isn't to say there's no uses for compression, but rather I just notice with so many people when they're starting out, they have this idea that they need to be able to use a compressor in a certain way. And I would say unless there's a very, very specific thing you're trying to do that you know a compressor is going to be good for, don't worry about it so much.